Outside of the frontal lobes, parietal areas are perhaps the most associated with metacognitive and self-regulatory functions. According to the parietal frontal integration theory of intelligence, it is the neural connections between these two regions that provide the best explanation of where intelligence resides in the brain. The parietal area has been implicated in specific learning disabilities such as dyslexia, dysgraphia, and even dyscalculia. Damage to areas within this region can produce impairments ranging from the ability to perform specific tasks in complex movements called apraxia to impairments in the ability to recognize or discriminate qualities in your sensory field called anosognosia. Often, localized damage to the parietal can produce fascinatingly specific kinds of deficits. Perhaps most relevant to the study of metacognition is the condition of anosognosia, or what is sometimes called hemispheric neglect, a condition in which a person suffers from paralysis due to their injury, but they seem to be unaware of the disability's existence. One reason researchers have been able to identify many parietal functions is that it is part of the brain that's a little bit more easily accessible compared to these internal areas like the midbrain. This has enabled researchers to apply electrical stimulation to specific parietal areas of the brain, which frequently produce noticeable changes in cognitive and perceptual experience. During brain surgery for severe epilepsy, for example, the patient is awake while the surgeon applies localized electrical current to the physical surface of the brain. And then they ask the patient if they observe or they feel any changes. This is done to ensure that the surgeon does not damage any regions of the brain that may be involved with important functions of daily living. And through this process, researchers have thoroughly mapped what is known as the motor area by stimulating the brain and identifying corresponding body movements of the patient. They've also been able to do the same for the sensory areas by stimulating the brain and identifying, the corresponding sensations that are reported by the patient. This has allowed them to produce images like this one, which is a map which lets us sort of see the location and the size and the relative amount of processing power that the brain puts into processing these specific areas, with the areas that are involved with the most processing shown as the largest.